Yeah, so why is it always all about control for the narc? Why is it control? Why is control? Why is that the thing? Well, I mean, there's so many reasons. You know, narcs have been described as being very fear-based. They're afraid of losing control because they don't want to be exposed for who they are, blah, blah, blah. But I think even in a more basic, instinctual way, um, they get addicted to their supply. And, like in the movie The Matrix, they have all the humans in these little pods, and they're taking their energy. That's how they power the machine system, whatever, the robot system. But they couldn't do that if all the humans were walking around just doing their own thing. They couldn't take the energy from them because they wouldn't be able to round them all up and keep them in the same place and sucking their energy, right? Well, same thing with the narc. Um, they have to keep you immobilized, controlled, in order to take your energy. They get addicted to the supply. They frequently feed on people who are looking for, that are overwhelmed by life and are kind of looking for somebody to sort of tell them what to do. And here comes the narc, and they're going to tell you what to do. But the narc is, unfortunately, it would be nice actually if they did know what they were doing, but they don't. They're even more lost than the person that they're victimizing. So as a victim or as a survivor, just trying to get confident in your own self, in your own mission, and realizing that you don't need somebody to tell you what to do. Essentially, you don't really need that. Is going to be part of your recovery. Just reaffirming. That's where the affirmations and everything. I did that video about affirmations. It's all about just reaffirming your will, and the more times that you can see how well your mind actually works and how logical and how capable you are, the more it's going to be easy for you to let go of the narc and just go and do your own thing. The idea that it's scary out there and you're not going to be able to survive without me, that could be somewhat of a big hook. What if that's true? What if you do need somebody, at the end of the day, to help you and to support you? Um, well, fine, but don't make it be a narc because they don't know what they're like I said, more lost than you are. They appear not to be, but they're lost in this whole other way that is going to complicate things for you. Um, so that's why it's all about control, because they have to keep you immobilized in order to take your energy. They get addicted to your energy. Um, in a vampiric sense, taking your energy, like vampires sucking your blood, they suck your energy. Um, they get addicted to that whole thing. It is an addiction for them, in addition to the other addictions that they may have, and the other addictions that they may have um, become part of the keeping the supply under control. Um, and I might do a video about that too, because the addictions for a narc can be very calculated. It's not like a normal addiction where they're trying to mask the pain. That's part of it, but it's also this calculated thing where they use the addiction to keep the supply immobilized, to humiliate the supply, um, and keep them discouraged and immobilized so they can continue to take their energy. And again, the energy is taken so that they can feel better about themselves, covering up their own problems and their own issues. And the addiction to the supply for a narc is just like any other addiction is for anybody. But the biggest difference is that, you're preying on another human being. And so it becomes an even more evil um, scenario because, a regular addiction is like, all right, fine, you're hurting yourself. Maybe you're hurting others indirectly. But the narc is directly preying on people as part of their addictive cycle. So they become a much more dangerous addict than the normal addict in some ways. Um, but due to their pathological nature, this damage is frequently hidden so they can appear to be very functional and contributing members of society, etc., etc. Maybe even successful, maybe even like a motivational speaker, you know. But deep down, they're doing this stuff behind the scenes that is very, very shady and very, very predatory and negative and deeply evil, deeply evil. But it's like they're addicted to it, so they can't stop. So that's why it's all about control for the narc. They're trying to they immobilize their victims so that they can continue to take their energy from them. And the best good analogy to that is the movie The Matrix, and the way that the robots keep the humans hooked up to this machine, and the humans become like a battery to power the system of robotic whatever civilization. I mean, it's pretty dark when you start to see like the analogies, and the way that these narcs can sort of be inhuman in their activity and in their functioning. I don't want to deny them their humanity because then I'll just be like them. But their activities can be very inhuman and sort of it's unconscious and subconscious, and it's a sort of misguided survival instinct. But nevertheless, it's very, very sinister and dangerous. And if you're around these people, it can become very dangerous for you as well. And the less, it's almost like the less pathological you are, or sociopathic, the more dangerous it actually is, which is weird. Because first of all, you become better supply because there's more of you, there's more humanity in you that can be sucked out. But also, you start to do some of the same thing that the narc does, but you don't cover it up as well because you don't have that pathological or that sociopathic instinct to be able to cover your tracks. So you can get yourself in some very deep trouble doing stuff that the narc does, but not being able to hide it, or having an addiction but not being able to control it as well as the narc does because you're too much of a real, genuine person. So keep all those things in mind when you're thinking about why does the narc control people.